All right, everybody. Welcome to the Tell Me Something podcast. This is Levi Worthington, and we have a special guest today, and her name is Tomeka Anderson. Let's go. So, yeah, it is a great Sunday. It's a blessed Sunday. Um, we're just going to pretty much with a couple questions for her to get some information on her daycare that she has.
Yes.
So we'll start with the first question, which is pretty much talking about her origin of the daycare. And so you guys know, this is the name of the daycare right here. It's Cleverised Therapeutic Daycare. This is her email if you want to get in contact with her, as far as, anything for that. And then the phone number as well. So we'll get started. All right, so the first question is about your origin. So can
My
you
origin.
tell us pretty much how you started Cleverized Therapeutic Daycare, um, and your experience with working at other daycares and how that has helped you to pretty much start this and what you have going on today?
Well, um, I started Cleverize when I started my career at Child Haven. Working there truly reshaped my heart. I witnessed children overwhelmed, overstimulated, and misunderstood. I saw the gaps firsthand, the structure, the therapeutic play, sensory support. Every child deserves a place built for their needs, not one that they have to adapt to. And that's where Cleverize was born to bridge that gap.
And from that experience, like what can you say that your daycare brings that I wouldn't say others don't, but you can instantly see like a difference.
Oh,
What would that be?
well, I definitely the therapeutic environment. I think that's going to be the most important to see between Cleverize and a traditional daycare. Parents are usually turned away from daycares because of their child's behaviors and they're misunderstood. And I think that's where the difference is going to be, and that gap is going to be filled. Of course, therapy and early education at Cleverize, we're going to blend that into every single moment that the child is there. Sensory tools at circle time, visual supports for transitions, and the calming strategies. Of course, we're going to woven that into the play therapy that we're going to provide at Cleverize. Traditional
Mm,
childcare, it just doesn't teach the skill that the kids need.
mm,
Cleverize, we're going to teach the skill and we're going to teach the child.
okay. That see, and that's the thing. I really hear like a personal connection that you're giving to each child, and I know that's a hard thing to do. But it sounds like you're giving your best, literally, to make that happen for each child, which is a big
Absolutely.
difference that I see in your daycare compared
Mhm.
to some other experiences that I've seen, with my little sisters and other people that have went to daycare, and it's not always like that. It's pretty much they get
No.
grouped up and put in there, and it's hopefully you wait till the parents come back and get the kids again. So I feel like you're
Yeah,
creating an experience that's more immersive and uh, makes a parent feel like their child is not only safe hands, but is getting that extra need that the parent might not be able to just because of working. So that's a good thing.
or just
Um,
teaching while that parent's at work. It's not just babysitting. It's teaching that
yeah.
skill that they need to learn every single day to prepare them for that next level, which is school. So,
And as far as your teaching style, um, is it, would you say universal? Because
well,
there's a certain way of teaching, but know that some people are able to kind of mix it all together and make it universal
mhm.
in a sense.
Of course, everything's going to be play. Everything's play therapy. Everything is going to adapt to the child and the environment, whatever that child needs. I mean, I can't sit a child down and say, learn this, learn that with other kids if they're not like other kids. So we have to keep that in mind. They're not like other kids. They need that environment to thrive in, and that's what Cleverize is here to do. My
Right.
facility, it's soft lighting, quiet corners, movement stations, flexible routines, structure throughout the day, sensory breaks, and gentle pacing. I mean, the children, when they're here at Cleverize, they don't need to mask who they are. The environment is going to support them fully. And that's what we're here to do.
That's awesome. And
Mhm.
that is something that, like I was talking to you earlier, it's kind of hard for people to be able to do that. So to start them early, to be comfortable with themselves, so they can create genuine production in
Mhm.
many different ways and do it the way that they would like to do it. That's a good way to start in life.
Yep.
So, good thing to you for doing that with the kids.
Thank
Um,
you. I'm trying. I'm trying.
it's not
So
easy
that's
because
what we're
I've
going to
taught
get the
too.
word out there, and we're going to show the parents we're here for them and their kids.
Right. And as a teacher, having experience with that, it's not the easiest, in certain environments to be able to do that. So when you're
Mhm.
talking about these things, it's like the perfect combination pretty much for a child to be able to flourish and grow. So
That's right.
that's good
Mhm.
stuff. So we'll
Thank
move
you.
on to the next question pretty much, which is how you're bridging the gap. You mentioned Cleverised was formed to fill a gap in childcare. Can you describe what the
Mhm.
gap looks like and how Cleverised uniquely fills?
Oh, well, once again, we're going to offer sensory friendly care for the kids, give them lots of love and individualized care one on one. We're going to provide behavior reports for parents, monitor their daily structured everything that they're going to do throughout the day. The parents are going to know about it. And that's something regular daycares don't do. And we're going to provide emotional support. Like I said, once again, we are going to adjust to the child at Cleverize. We are going
Hmm.
to um, give them an environment they can thrive in. So we're going to adjust to the child and not the child to the space.
That's good. I was
Mhm.
gonna say, as far as like kids that don't, I would say not follow the program, but um, they're not as able to adapt as the other kids are into whatever the system is that you have there. Um, how do you deal with them? What is your type of language that you use to kind of get them to get to that point that you need them to be pretty much?
Right. Well, there's no
Um,
language. There's no language. We're going to use a lot of visuals. We're going to
mhm,
use a lot of movement stations. We have quiet corners. We have soft lighting. We're going to understand the child. We're going to be there, and we understand at Cleverize, their behavior is not the issue. It's communication. So we're here to reward
mm,
them every second of that they're here at Cleverize, and we want to provide them everything they need. If they have an outburst, we have everything here at Cleverize to calm them down. We have sensory tools. We have weighted vests, weighted blankets, earphones, um, weighted teddy bears. So we have everything they need to calm them down.
and with your experience at these other daycares that you've been at, does that help to kind of make your process better as far as just the different outlets that you have for the kids, like you said, with visuals and all that?
Well,
Or is there
I
like a
I
set
think
guideline?
yeah, I think my time spent in the early education community here in Las Vegas really helped me understand every different child. And then, of course, educating myself. This past year, that's all I've been doing was going to conferences, training the staff, and getting to know everything in the whole community that is going on with autistic kids and especially
Hmm.
toddlers. So educating myself is something that I definitely take pride in with building Cleverize and my team.
I was about to say, as far as your team, do they have the same passion that you have for this, or
Oh,
do you feel
absolutely.
like,
Absolutely. You can't work here if you don't have the passion to do this. This isn't just something anyone can do. Working with these kids
right,
and teaching them, kids know, first of all, kids know people. So it's more than just loving what you do. You have to have the passion, patience, and respect to do this. And you have to want to
mhm.
come here every day and do this. And that's something me and all my team members, we want to do this. We love this.
And as far as, you know, like, I know it's not just in the work hours that you set for the daycare. It goes beyond that. Does your team take the extra initiative to go beyond those hours to, make whatever needs to happen for the daycare?
Well, yeah, because I mean, running a daycare, especially a different daycare that's gonna be different for the community. Nobody knows what to expect. That's why I wanted to come on this podcast and show families what we are doing at Cleverised and our mission. So the team, they go above and beyond so far, and I am so proud of the team that I have working here at Cleverised, and I can't wait to share what we're doing with the community and the parents.
Hmm. And as far as any special updates with your daycare, is there any like special promotions going on that you know about since you're on that topic? Um,
No, no special promotions. I'm just waiting to do the community building first and get the trust that I need from the families and the people that I'm partnering with.
well, from a person that is an advocate for families and children being taken care of correctly, I'm a highly big person for you right now as far as what you have going on. I
Thank
believe that
you.
at the end of the day, the kids need to go somewhere that can be themselves, and get the skills that they need to be able to survive and do great things out here in this world.
Absolutely. That's the most important, right? So I would like to say now that you did mention like sell what did you say? Any different
Like
promotions
promotions,
going?
pretty much any
Yeah.
sales that you got going
Yeah.
on as far as like.
So since we are a specialized daycare, we're all learning this, right? We're all new. But I do accept subsidies through the state of Nevada childcare for
Really?
this cabinet. Yes, I do. So yeah.
Yeah,
And
we're
then
definitely gonna have to highlight that because that's something that I don't see.
really, yeah.
That's something. Yeah, we. Oh, hold on. We got to give you a round of applause for that because that is amazing. Like, so,
Thank you.
of course, no problem. But we'll move on to our next question, which we kind of talked about it a little bit, but I feel like we can go into it a little bit more.
Yeah.
Um, your therapeutic approach. How does your program combine therapeutic support with early childhood education in a way traditional daycares might not?
Um, well, we support, didn't we talk about this? The calming strategies, the sensory tools, the visual supports for
Yeah,
transitioning, the space, the equipment. I think we touched on that already.
yeah. I feel like we kind
So
of went into it. I was just seeing if you had anything else to
I
add
think
to
I got
that.
ahead
'Cause
of you probably. I think I got ahead of you before you even asked the question. I provided the answer. So
it
yeah, so
is
once
all
again
good.
we have sensory, friendly care. That's the most important in providing therapeutic support to children. Without children trusting the environment, they're not going to learn. So, in order
Hmm.
for them to learn, that's why I created my space to make it look familiar to them. So, if you look at my space, it looks like a play area, it looks like a park, it looks like a theme. Of course, it's approved through the state of Nevada. So, I am licensed. So, they obviously know that everything is um, safe. My most important thing when I did create this was safe environment and sensory friendly for the kids. So it's definitely safe, but it is something that they are going to enjoy and something that can help them throughout their day, transition throughout their day, and learn throughout the day. So it's a space where they can feel safe, thrive, and have social skills building at the same time.
That's a great thing, honestly. As far as like you said, a safe space, like a lot of kids come to that, I'm assuming, to the daycare, and it could be an outlet for them possibly to get away from what's going on in the
Yeah,
outside world. And when
absolutely.
those situations happen, how do you handle that as far as,
Well,
them?
our team, we every, of course, that situation is going to happen every day, right? But that's where our
Mhm.
sensory tools come into play. That's where our visual supports come into play to help them communicate what they need throughout the day. So it's all about communication. It's all about patience. It's all about understanding. We're here to understand their needs. We're here to listen to them. We're here to learn them, and they're here to learn the world.
That's good.
Mhm.
So the funny thing is, you're on this podcast, but you also have your own podcast.
Well,
Can
I'm
you
trying
kind of
to. Yes, so that
find?
is definitely the beginning.
We over here, we believe in affirmation, we believe in manifestation. We said that you already have this podcast, you're just developing it. So we tell us what your direction with that is, and how that connects to your daycare pretty much.
So I'm launching the podcast because I want parents to have the support they need to. I mean, that's important. And in Cleverised at the daycare, I support the children, right? I'm going to support
Mhm.
the children all day long from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. But through the podcast, I want to support the families and the parents and the caregivers. I want to be able to help the parents understand what Clever Eyes is, who I am, and what our mission is behind Clever Eyes.
And
So that's why I want to do
how
the
did you
podcast.
how did you come up with the name Cleverized? What was the reason for that?
Oh,
Because it's very clever, very
it
clever.
is, isn't it? So exactly. So I got it. I was thinking, what can I do? What can I write? Of course, when you start a business, you go back and forth. So I just came up. I was like, these kids are pretty clever. So I was gonna say, okay, clever daycare. But then I was like, but then they can be revised, right? So then I
Mhm.
put clever and revised together, and I came up with Clever Eyes.
Mm. That
And then it's
that that
therapeutic.
is, and it in a sense, like, from a perspective of someone bringing their kid there, you're expecting them to come out clever, intelligent
Well,
in a
they are
sense.
clever, but
Not
we
needed.
can revise them too, right? We can teach
Mhm.
them. We can help them thrive. So
Mhm.
they're still going to be clever and revised, cleverized. So
That's
that's how
perfect.
I
I,
came up
I
with the
like.
name.
So with that, pretty much I just got some things that I want to discuss because we already talked about, the sensory needs, toddler development,
Mhm.
um, autism awareness. We kind of went into a little bit. What do you think that most people, as far as the parents and caregivers, with those specific areas, do they struggle to understand the most with that, or with those areas? I mean.
I what I find most with, of course I'm not going to say what every parent struggles with, but when I do speak to parents, I think the most struggle is sensory needs.
Mm,
Sensory overwhelm. It can look like behavior. They cry, they bang their head, shut their ears, and they just shut down completely. Um,
mm-hmm.
so it's all communication. It's not behavior. So I think sensory needs is something that a lot of parents I talk to struggle with the most. And once they understand the sensory needs, they understand the communication, they understand the child. So I would definitely have to say, in my opinion, sensory is something that is probably the most struggle when it comes to
Now,
dealing with the autistic toddler.
do you feel like these are things that just because we weren't, maybe the people that are the parents, they might not have got these type of things, like, understanding sensory needs when they were younger? Do you think that correlates to the child of why they
I
don't
I
understand, or it's just the
I have no idea. I'm not going to answer that question. I'm not going to answer that question because I have no idea. I don't know.
I
I think
only
we're
say
all
that
learning
because
autism,
mhm,
and it's something that we're going to continue to learn every year and as these kids get older.
I just feel like it's sometimes when you don't understand something, you don't also know how to deal with it on an emotional or physical level as
Oh,
well.
yeah. I mean, absolutely. That's
So
hard, right? Yeah.
yeah. So
Communication.
I feel like with parents sometimes it's a matter if they haven't experienced it, then they're kind of just going through the stages.
Yeah, and
And
they're
everybody,
learning their child, of course. I mean,
right?
you're learning your child. I mean, we all expect our child to be born healthy and perfect and thriving, right? With the physical
Mhm,
development and early childhood, just every milestone is supposed to be set, right? So, of
mhm,
course, parents, when you stop and you don't see that milestone and it's not proper, like we were all taught, we're going to stumble. We're going to wait a minute. This ain't right. What's going on?
yeah.
Of course. So, it's all communication once again, which right ties back into the sensory. I mean, it's
Mhm.
tough, it's hard, and that's why Cleverize is here. It's hard. I know, and I get it, and I understand, and I'm here to help. It's hard.
So with that, we'll go into pretty much the parental support that you give, um, which is pretty much the advice of people trying to understand their children better.
Yeah.
Um, what advice do you give to them?
I,
Because you kind of got into it a little bit.
I a lot of patience, have a lot of patience, and I think that now they can understand Cleverize is here to help. We're here to help them and help their child at the same time. So one thing about my daycare is I just don't want to be known as a babysitter. I want to take that time with the child, you know. So once again, what makes me different than that traditional is we are trained to take care of autistic children. We are trained to understand their needs. We are trained to help them with communicating and social skills on a daily basis. We're all trained in that. So I want people to understand when they bring their child to Cleverize, they're going to get potty trained. We're going to help do that. So if we can get that help at home, and that help in a daycare, the parents are going to see their kids thrive in kindergarten,
Hmm.
first grade, second grade, and that's what we need today. That's exactly what we
Right.
need in this community.
It's like a village aspect that I think of it. What you're doing is you're giving them
Absolutely.
that
Yep.
if they don't have uh, grandparents, in the child's life,
Yep.
unfortunately, then you're like that. You're that assistance that they can get, because that's how it
I'm that
usually works.
grandparent.
You,
I'm that grandparent. Bring
so
them.
you
I'm not
know,
calling you at work. Your child is safe and your child is going to stay here and your child is going to thrive when they leave here.
and that's the village aspect that, like you said, we're really
Yep.
missing nowadays, and it's there's a lot of things to add to
Absolutely.
that, but that's a whole different topic. We're talking about you right now.
That's my next
So
podcast.
yeah.
That's my
So
next podcast.
we're gonna get a little deep, but we gotta do it. Without naming names, can you share a story that really captures how Cleverized approach has made a difference in a child's life?
You want to make me cry right now on this whole
No, no,
podcast?
no, that's not the goal. We
That's
don't,
what you're trying to
we're
do.
not we're not
You're
trying
trying
to
to
make
make
you
me
cry.
get all
It's just
emotional.
listen. I mean,
Um,
this is as far as the people at the end of the day when people watch this over again. This is I feel like a very key point that will help people kind of see to take that next step to go with you as far as putting their child in your daycare. So
yeah,
I don't want
yeah.
to make you
Well,
cry, but this is something I feel like is important.
um, my time spent working for DFS, I met a lot of families, and I can tell you, there's this one family of five I'll never forget. And when they came in, they had so much trauma and fear. Of course, they've been through more than we probably have in our lifetime. And they're
Mm,
5, and the youngest was 1. So I connected with one sibling in particular. I watched the trust grow between me and her. I connected with one sibling, um, and then she had 2 more siblings I connected with. But her in particular, I really connected with her. So later, I learned once they left Child Haven that they were always kicked out of daycares because of their behavior. They were
mm,
labeled uncontrollable, and all they needed was understanding. That's it. And once I found out that they were always kicked out of daycare, it pushed me towards my purpose. So that's where Cleverised was born. And I'm not going to get into more because I could go on and on and on, but I'm going to stop right there. So they were my
respect,
reason behind the purpose. They were my reason
respect,
behind Cleverised.
respect. And that is beautiful. We love it. We love it.
Mhm.
So, with that in mind, pretty much, I have a question for you that isn't a question that we have, but pretty much a personal question. So, when it comes to your emotional state in doing all this, this it's a lot. I mean, you're dealing with a lot of families at the end of the day, you know, and you're hearing all these stories, your previous experience with other childcare entities that you work with. That's a lot over time. Like, how do you decompress, I guess, from all of that, or is it something that you don't need to decompress? It's like a passion for you in a sense. I know you said that earlier, but it's like passions can be also draining in a sense,
Oh, yeah, of
'cause
course.
sometimes we'll push ourselves too hard. So,
Mhm.
how do you deal with all of this in a sense?
Um, well, like you said, it's something that's natural. So I don't need to decompress. Do you know why? Because when I'm at work, at Cleverised, we provide love all day long. So there's no yelling, there's no screaming, there's no timeouts, there's no chastising, and there's no correcting behaviors. So it's hugs, it's love, and it's caring. That's all it is all day long. So if I'm getting that all day long at work and at home, I'm perfectly fine. And if I do need to decompress, then I spend a lot of my time at home with my grandkids still. So I'm surrounded by children all day long. So my decompressing is my family, is knowing that I spent time helping one family and I can help another. So my reward is knowing that kid walks out this door and wants to walk back in the next day. That's my
That's
reward.
awesome. That is awesome. Um, Speaking of that, as far as building the community, right? Your podcast is pretty much, in a sense, doing that. The trailer positions this as a community space more than a podcast. How do you envision connecting with your listeners and building that community
Ah,
with your podcast?
So when I created the podcast Clever Eyes Corner, I wanted to be a true community podcast. Like you said, I want to build a space and place where parents can feel seen, heard, and supported at the same time. I want them to grow through stories that we will all share, questions that we all have, and a connection that we can all make. So I see that parents can get that support from the podcast. And parents need that support. They need to know
Mhm.
that we understand. They need to know that there's people out there that has the same questions and need the same support, and need the same people around. So that's why I think the podcast for Clever Eyes Corner is going to be great for the community. I think it's going to be a great community builder to where we can all take care of these kids, like the village you mentioned, and still be parents and caregivers at the same time to
Right,
understand each other.
right. And
Mhm.
just the aspect of your podcast that I really like is people are not willing to ask questions sometimes because they feel
Yep.
like it's not the right question or it's not a smart question. I've
Mhm.
been always told my whole entire life, no question is a dumb question except the
I
one
know,
that's not
right?
asked.
And we still don't want to
But
ask it though.
right, with your platform, I feel like that is an opportunity for someone that is bold enough to ask
Mhm.
that question, but now it's concrete and that question can be answered moving forward, and no one has to ask that question anymore. It's right there, it's available for you on a platform that
Right.
is pretty much everybody that's in the same situation. You got kids, um, whatever the situation may be, everybody can be able to migrate to one platform and be able
Mhm.
to get those questions answered. And also around people that are in their community too. So I
And build
think that
trust,
your
you
platform is
know?
going to be great.
Yeah, you become a trusted voice. You want the listeners to be informed, you want them to be empowered, and you want them to know that they're not alone. So
Right.
I built this podcast because I wanted to become a trusting voice within Clever Eyes.
I feel like just alone with what you're doing, you're a trusted voice. It's just a matter of your reach now, you know,
Exactly. The matter
ability
of
to
the
do it.
reach and building that trust with the community. So yeah.
Great. So pretty much this is the last question, the most important question I feel like, which is where do you see Clever Eyes and your podcast years from now? A couple years, say 5. You can go 5, 10. You know, what do you see from what you've built so far in a couple years from now?
So I see Clever Eyes expanding. I see more locations within the Las Vegas community. I see more trainings for my staff. That's something that's not going to stop because we're learning something new every day. I'm serious. Ever since I built this, I started building this 12 months ago. I can tell you, I probably get 3 or 4 hours of sleep a day. If I'm not waking up calling one of my team members at 3 in the morning, they're waking up calling me. So it's always something we're changing and doing and adding. It's always something new. So training is definitely something important for us in the future, and to continue to provide the proper advocacy that the community needs. We have to know
Hey,
in order to
what
tell the
you
parents.
what you just said about learning is I know that your program is legit because most programs they have a blueprint, they have a system, and they just stick to it. It's going to do what it needs to do.
Oh no.
It's like the saying, "Don't break it," or if it's not broken, don't fix it.
Yeah.
That's not what you're doing. You
No.
have a program that works, but you're improving and adding more and more and more to it. I mean, we can't say perfect because no one's perfect, but you're
Right.
pretty much that's what I'm getting from this.
We're
You're
trying to
making this,
perfect it. We're
yeah.
trying to perfect it, but seriously, every day it's always something else. It is. It's always something we're learning. It's always something we're adding. It's we haven't had to take away yet, but we keep adding and we keep adding and we keep adding to ensure that space is safe, to ensure these kids are going to trust us, to ensure the families are going to be informed and empowered. So we want everybody to know
What,
that they're not alone.
what would you say? And this is the last question I'll ask. What would you
You
say
keep
is
saying
your
that.
hardest? What would you say is your hardest part of this journey in making this daycare, or the experience as
Um,
far as the podcast and daycare together?
the hardest, you know what? It there wasn't no hard part. It really wasn't hard. It was fun. I enjoyed every moment of it. I'm still enjoying it. So if there is a hard part, then I'm waiting on it and I'm gonna be right there to conquer it. So, so if it is, I'm still waiting, but I'm telling you, I'm not gonna give up. That's one thing I won't do. So yeah, I enjoyed building this program and I enjoyed learning and I enjoy teaching and I'm looking forward to where Clever Eyes is gonna go. I'm excited.
And we're excited for you, and we're going to definitely be a part of the journey with you. As any way possible that we can do promo for you, that we can get out. If you got drives going on, any special events that you got going on, send that to us. We will promo it for
Oh,
you
thank
because
you.
we believe in
Thanks.
what you're doing, and it is a great thing that you're doing for the community. So
I appreciate that.
um, we thank you so much for everything that you've done as far as your impact in the community, from the previous child cares that you worked at, to what you're doing now. So we just appreciate you. So another round of applause for you.
Thank you.
Uh, and then any other updates, questions, concerns that you want to let the people know about, before we pretty much end the live? And I'll post
Um,
your information up here so that they can get that if they need that too.
Thank you. No, I just want to let every parent know that is listening that your child is not too much. They're not behind and they're not difficult. They're learning the world and we are learning them together. So I want them to know that they're not alone and Cleverised is going to be here the whole time to help.
That is awesome. I back her 100% on what she's saying with that. So
Thank
we
you.
thank you again. Tomeka, you are a great person and we appreciate you
Oh, thanks
for
for having
what you
me. I
do.
appreciate it.
Yes, of course. So, people, if you want to go check out what she's got going on, check it out. Um, we got her email right here so that you can reach out to her through email. And if you're not an email person like I am, just hit her up through the phone number. And you can get directly in contact with her and the great staff that she has at her daycare.
Yep.
So, thank you guys for tuning in. You guys have a good rest of your day. Have a blessed Sunday. And thank you, Tomeka, for coming in to the Tell Me
Thank you
Something
for
podcast.
having me. It was
Of
fun. I
course.
enjoyed you.
Yep,
Thanks.
no problem.